All right, well, good morning, everybody. We have got Angela Foster here. She is the U.S. Director of Operations at RAPHA International, and she's going to share with us what RAPHA has been doing, especially in the last year, because it sounds like it's been a busy one. So we'll get started as people continue to join in and join us online. All right, thanks, Angela.
Good morning. Why don't we start this morning in a word of prayer? Father, we are just so incredibly grateful for this sweet congregation that loves RAPHA dearly. Thank you for all that you have done here, all that you have done in RAPHA in the last year and a half. Thankful for the opportunity to get to share. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so you're going to have to be patient. I have to work a clicker and a microphone and look at my notes. So this may go really, really well or really, really bad. For those, I think I can see everybody might know who we are, but I'm going to tell you what our mission is. Our mission is to end the trafficking and sexual abuse of children, one child, one family, and one community at a time. So much has happened for us, both internationally and in our own headquarters in Joplin this past year. So I want to get right into it. We opened a second campus with the help of the Tim Tebow Foundation in Thailand. They already fund operations for 4 cottages, 3 in our first Thailand campus and 1 in our Cambodian campus. But when the Thai government came to our director and said, you know, in the way they function, girls that have open cases are not to be housed with girls that have closed cases, either waiting for reintegration, waiting for their healing process to be such that we feel it's time to reintegrate, or whatever their case is. If their case is closed, they feel security-wise it's better to have the girls separated that have open cases for those that don't. When you have one campus and your cottages are all in a row, what we had to do until we could find the funding for a second location was we put up fences. It felt awkward, but it was what the Thai government needed. And they check off, yes, you can do this. We just put in fencing around 2 cottages where the girls that had open cases. Tim Tebow comes along and finds out that we need a second campus. And so not only did they fund the construction of the campus, Tim Tebow was actually there when we opened it in February, but they are funding all of the operations, not just like what they were doing before is just cottages, whatever it takes to fund one cottage, which includes house mothers, driver, social worker, and counselor, but they fund all the operations for the entire campus. So we are going to watch, if I do this right, we're going to watch a video. Yes.
I just want to address the girls that we serve who are with us here today. My prayer for each of you is that you will always understand that you are highly valued, that you are worth every human right, and moreoverly, that you are daughters of the King of Kings. You are worthy of protection, and you are worthy of justice. And I hope that you all will walk forward into a bright future, and that as leaders of the next generation, that you will then stand in protection and empowerment for the generations of children to come.
So as you can see, it is a beautiful, beautiful space for girls to heal, for their healing journey to start, to continue as long as they're with us. People ask all the time, well, I know there are some organizations you have 18 months, you have an 18-month program, or you have a 2-year program. We, with the permission of every government that we serve, we don't have a time frame. A child could come to us and within 6 months ready to reintegrate. They could come and not ever be ready to reintegrate. Stay with us until they age out, which is still 18, but then it's our job to continue on with them, find them a safe place to reintegrate. Our social workers will continue to work with them. Our counselors will continue to work with them. But this beautiful space allows the girls with open cases to be in a much more secure location. All of our locations are really secure, but this one is specifically designed for those that have open cases. So, next in Thailand, we also have a prevention ministry. It's about 6 hours from where our survivor campuses are, and it's in Mae Sot, Thailand. And I don't know if you remember, but back in May, there was a horrific 7.8 earthquake that hit Myanmar and Thailand, that border where we work. We are on the Mae Sot border. It borders Thailand and Myanmar. And so we raised emergency funds to help with resourcing, rebuilding, food, water, medical supplies for all the communities that we serve in that prevention program. There were a lot of those are our community workers, and they, are in those communities. We work in basically a trash dump. The refugees that live there live literally at the base of a trash dump. And I don't know that they sent me any pictures of that, but in our facility, we built right at the edge of that trash dump, and we serve children that either can't go to school because their families can't afford it, but that's part of the resourcing that we do. We try to get their tuition paid so they can go to school. We got emergency funding for housing, which for us, housing is mortar and bricks and sticks, and for them, most of them, it is like you would see on your back porch, a lean-to with sticks, and we provide a lot of tarp. That's housing and for most of the people that we serve in that area. But we were able to find a lot of our campus, shockingly, had no damage. We had maybe one crack in one of our sidewalks out. So where that is, if you went backwards, you'd be at the parking area, there was a crack. It was shocking that there was nothing done to our facility. There's a church on our campus there. It's to the left of where those children are playing. And then that big open area is where we do some classes, and that's their playground. It's all covered. The programming that we do during the day. And then on the other side, we have housing for some of our staff that live there on the campus so they can be in the community where they work. And then in the back, we have a small medical clinic and restrooms and classrooms for our preschool that we run there. So lots going on. This is our director in Mae Sot. She's a precious, precious soul, loves these kids with everything that she has. And that is a depiction. This was not during the earthquake. This is the community that we serve. This is where they live. And so continue to pray for those sweet people that are mostly refugees. I don't know if you remember, there was also a coup that happened as well. So the military was running the country for a while. I'm not sure if they have government running us at this point. But that is the community that we serve. So a brighter note, we did get a lot of those people new lean-tos, and so that was a way that Rapha can serve alongside those children that we serve in our preschool and able to help them with their tuition in school, and their family get food support from us as well. Okay, next. I think we've talked about, because we bought, in our home office in Joplin, we bought an old church because we were absolutely out of room. We were working out of 4,000 square feet for all of our all of our stateside accounting, development, operations, all of us. Plus, we'd opened our Hope and Healing Center in September of 2020, and that is for our counselors to serve all victims of abuse in the tri-state area around us. I gave up my office for a counseling office. We started with 2 counseling offices. It was sometimes very awkward to share a lobby space, because sometimes we'd go, hey, are you here to visit? No, I'm here for counseling. And then it was just a little awkward for them to have to sit in our open gallery to wait for their counseling appointment. But we all got used to it for the last 5 years. But they had 2 offices as the need and waiting list for both of those therapists. We brought on some master level interns, 2 in the 2nd year, and so we needed more space. So one of our offices was taken over, and we tried as best we could to soundproof it. And I mean, the counselors would tell you we did a great job for what it was. And then the next year, I gave up my office and I ended up in the basement, which, again, I don't mind, but I officed for the last 3 years in the basement because we needed space for our counseling clients and our therapists. So this year, September 19th, October of 23, we purchased a church, and it had 10,500 square feet. And so we started a campaign, and if you want to come visit us in Joplin, you'll see Plainfield Christian Church right up there on a lily pad as one of the supporting churches. We have a beautiful graphic. It's not up yet. We're going to have a beautiful graphic of all the people that came alongside us to help us build this new facility, not only just for our headquarters so that I could be out of the basement. That's the way I believe it. We did it just so I could get out of the basement. But we have a gorgeous facility. It's been taking us a bit to remodel it, and so we just had our opening September 19th, and you're going to see the beautiful space that we have for people dealing with trauma.
Every session begins the same way: order, calm, and quiet anticipation. But this playroom isn't just tidy, it's ready. Ready to hold whatever the child brings. Because play is a child's natural language, and in this special place, the toys become their words.
Many communities lack mental health supports needed, especially for complex trauma. The Rapha Hope and Healing Center was created to meet a need in our community for survivors of trauma, abuse, exploitation, and even trafficking in children and adults. At Rapha, we believe every survivor has the strength inside them to step forward into a future of healing and hope. Healing is hard work, and you don't have to do it alone. At the Rapha Hope and Healing Center, you are welcome exactly as you are. Whether you're just beginning or deep into your healing journey, our professional therapists will meet you with compassion and care. We believe that bringing these resources to our community will promote healing not only for the individuals we serve, but for our community as a whole.
So this is our new facility. It used to have a really big steeple. That was one of the first things that we took off so people wouldn't think we're a church. But on the left side of the building is our offices for the headquarters, and then the whole right side is for our Hope and Healing Center. And they have their own entrance now. Our security is super high. Each therapist has a specific code, and a specific code to give each one of their clients, or they don't get into the lobby. Then the lobby into the therapy spaces is also a coded door that no one but the therapist and myself and my direct report operations, we're the only ones that have codes into. Not even people on our staff on the RAPHA side have access to our therapy center. So it's a beautiful space. We got to do our open house and ribbon cutting with the Chamber of Commerce. That was September 19th. Probably about 350 people came through the day to help us just be, that's our lobby, just help us celebrate the fact that we have a way and the space. We now have 4 full-time therapists, and right now we have 3 master's level therapy students that work in our Hope and Healing Center, and they all have a space to work. We have a play therapy room. We have a movement room, which you didn't get a huge picture of. Excuse me. It is, I think the ceiling is about 20 feet. They have swings, what do they call, something pod. I don't know. It's a therapy swing that hangs down. They can wrap themselves up and swing while they're talking. There's a whole wall of mirrors if they want to dance and talk about life. What we have been told with especially children, even up into their teen years, if you can get them to play art, we have a room for art therapy, we have play therapy. I don't know if you paid attention. We have a little theater in our play therapy room that they can dress up. We have dress-up boxes on either side of that therapy. What did I just call it? Wow. Anyway, they have a great place to do dress up. They can use puppets to tell their story. Then in one of our adult rooms, we have a sand table so that we do family therapy in there. And so if a kid is playing in the sand and mom and dad are talking to the therapist, I don't know if you know, my kids did this all the time. They talked all the time when they were playing, make-believe. A lot comes out in therapy when you give them an opportunity. They're hearing mom and dad, they're hearing the therapist, but they're also sharing their story. So we have a lot of ways for them to connect to themselves and to walk their healing journey. The handprints that you saw on the video, I was sharing with a lady at our open house, that's our graduation certificate for them. They get to go into our art therapy room, paint their hand in whatever way they want to, and then if they feel their journey is over and they're done with counseling with us, they get to put their handprint on our graduation. And these are our 4 full-time therapists, precious souls that absolutely love what we do. The one that spoke about it in the video with the short hair, she is our director of the Hope and Healing Center, but she's also our clinical director for all of our locations. So she spends some time in 2 different times a year with our therapist in Thailand, Cambodia, and then she does video conferencing with our staff in Haiti. I believe that's, yeah. We're going to move on to Haiti. I'm going to not even try to attempt to share the story that Stephanie shares about our Haiti campus. I'm just going to read her letter to our donors about the situation in Haiti. Organized gangs in Haiti are using rape and sexual exploitation as an act of warfare to terrorize and oppress communities. Because we could no longer rely on police protection, we had already been forced to evacuate our clients and staff from our Haiti campus, and only security personnel remained. Our courageous and dedicated staff pivoted to focus on community-based programming, providing essential services for those who did experience sexual exploitation from gangs. They are bearers of light and hope who are running to the darkness on behalf of the most vulnerable. On the sunny morning of the dedication ceremony for our Tim Tebow Protection Center in Thailand, we learned that the area of our beautiful Haiti campus had fallen and was firmly in gang-controlled territory. We had to make the heartbreaking decision to evacuate our security personnel and leave behind an empty campus. In those moments after receiving this news, I remember praying out loud, Lord, how are we supposed to celebrate this new campus today when we are in deep lament over the loss of our campus in Haiti? I thought of the stone security walls in Haiti that had been meticulously erected so that survivors who were served there would feel safe and protected as they began their healing journeys. I thought about the beautiful art therapy center and the dining hall designed with a view to see all the way down to the mountain to the port. I closed my eyes and thought about the empty chairs and the books in the education center. I thought about the expansive areas for children to regain stolen childhood, places to play and to enjoy the beauty of nature with the hope that one day each precious girl would recognize herself as a beautiful part of that creation too. Even with these thoughts heavy on my heart, we embarked on a beautiful day of celebration along with our Thai staff, government, and NGO partners. During the joyous and moving celebration, even from across the world, our staff and guests remembered our team members in Haiti and the children and families they serve. During the ceremony, a RAPHA partner said to me, "The gangs in Haiti will one day be suppressed. We will get our campus back. We will restore it. It will once again be used for its intended purpose, serving the most vulnerable." Months later, I'm still emotional as I write these words. We won't back down. No, we won't back down. You can stand us up at the gates of hell, but we won't back down. So our Haitian staff are the heroes. Daily decisions on how they even get around to get to the areas where we are helping women and children that need their help. Our work there looks very different. We don't have a campus anymore. We don't have a survivor campus at the moment. But we're still doing what the Lord would want us to do. We were able to ask for a sponsorship for our Haitian staff to have just a couple of days to go on a retreat. We found a safe and heavily guarded hotel where they could spend time to relax and care for each other. They needed this break from the turmoil that's almost become the norm for them and for most Haitians. Please pray for the Lord to move in a mighty way in the country of Haiti. So, we're moving to Cambodia, where we've had a lot go on in the past year. One of the things that we do as we're preparing a girl to reintegrate, she's been with us however long she's been with us, and she is going on to her safe place or life beyond in freedom. We call it a rite of passage ceremony, and they take these girls, they give them a traditional, as you can see from this picture, a traditional Khmer outfit we special make for them, and then we give them a ring to help them know that they are always, that God is always with them and that we are always with them. Our social workers and counselors never leave. Their cell phones are given to these girls whenever they reintegrate. Fabulous story to tell about that. If any of you remember, we had a video came out in 2014. It's called Finding Home. And there was one of the girls in that story, because we admit we have failure. There are girls that go back into the lifestyle. And there was the girl on the video that left us, and it was really her mom that knew she could make more money in a life of prostitution. And so she left us, but always kept our social worker's number. Even if her number changed, she always kept our social worker's number. And so when we thought in the midst of filming that video, it was going after her multiple times, she would want to meet, and they'd go and meet with her, and she'd be higher than a kite. Because the one way to live in that lifestyle is to drown your sorrow in drugs, right? And so they never, ever, ever gave up on this girl. And she kept calling back and saying, I'm ready to come back. I'm ready to, and she can't come back to the survivor campus, but we can help her figure out what she can do next. And so multiple times we would I think it was 3 times we put her in different vocational training programs, and she failed every time and went back to the lifestyle. 7 years later, she decided that she wanted to be one of our community workers in our kids club. And for the last 5 years, that's exactly what she's been doing. So the dollars that you spend and the money that we spend helping our staff feel supported, so very important, because they hung in with this girl, and she is now a community worker in one of our prevention ministries and has been so for the last 5 years. So, great story. We're very intentional with taking care of our staff. This is every other year, we have 2 churches that pay for us to send our Cambodian staff on staff retreats. We've been doing that for many, many years. But they go at separate times. They each person will get a day and a half at wherever the retreat site is. We have a couple of those churches bring in women that will do devotionals with them, and we sing a lot, we play a lot. They love to take pictures wherever we are. We try to find really cool places for them to go. So that's part of what we do, is helping them to stay as much as they can healthy for each other and healthy for the girls that we serve. We opened a special needs day program in April of this year. These children are coming Monday through Friday free of charge because we have some generous donors that scholarship this entire operation. This is the only facility like it in Cambodia. It's a beautiful service for the parents of these precious children, because in Cambodia specifically, children with special needs are often considered less than. We want them to understand that they're not. They're beautiful just the way they are, and God created them for a purpose. And so we offer support groups for these parents and parents of special needs that either don't qualify for our program or are just on our waiting list. We have 8 children in the program right now. That's our staff. We have 8 children in the program right now that include a set of twin boys that, wow, I was with them in June, and they were, just the 2 of them were a handful. But we have a beautiful space for them to learn. This sweet girl is the only Downs child we have, and she loves everyone and everything. She clung to all of the team that I had there with us. She wanted to show off all of her skills, all the games that she could play. Just precious. But it gives her mom and dad a safe place for her to be, because public schools probably don't take she seemed a lot more mainstream to me than most, but I'm not sure a public school would accept her into their fold. Our oldest child is 8, and the youngest is 5. So we have 8 kids between 8 and 5 for our staff. This is the precious staff that are taking over that great job. The other thing that we're very, very intentional about is continuing education and honoring the years of service. And like I said, the staff retreats. We send as many of our staff as we can in all of our locations to conferences or university level classes when we can. We also have an annual service recognition ceremony to honor the years that our staff have worked with us, whether it's 1, I think we do 1, 5, 10, 15. We do have people that have been with us from the very beginning, 22 years now on staff. Every other year, we also plan those staff retreats, as I talked about, just to keep them not only healthy for themselves, but healthy for the kids that we serve. This is one of the beautiful locations that they got to take a retreat And this is the ceremony, one of the ceremonies for years of service. Like I said, they love to take pictures. That's all of our staff in Cambodia. They come to the Battambang campus because it's our largest and it's our flagship campus, and that's all of our staff in Cambodia. This is our leadership staff in Cambodia, and there they are on retreat. It's a beautiful pool behind them. So yeah, we are very, very intentional in caring for our staff, and we do the same for our Thai staff as well. And you saw that we were able to do that for our Haitian staff too. And that is it. Thank you so much for listening to all the fun things and opening it up for questions, if anybody has any questions. Because I think we have like 10 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 10, 15. Any questions about what we're doing? Anything from the past few years? Like I said, well, I've said this to several people. I lead trips to Cambodia for people to just go see what we do. And there's a couple of ladies that have asked me, hey, has anybody from Plainfield ever been? And I'm like, you know, that's the shocking thing to me, so shocking, is that you guys have been supporting us for 11 years. 11 years. And we've never had one person from this church make it to the field. So, I'm here to tell you that we are planning in March of 2027, because all of my 2026 trips are full, I'm inviting anybody that wants to go to see what we do. You're not going to dig a well, you're not going to paint a wall, you're not going to do anything but see what we do. And if you're at all interested in thinking about or possibly going or helping someone else go, I will be out at that at the RAPHA table, and I'll give you a business card, or you can go to rapha.org, find my little mug on our who we are, and you can email me directly from there. But I think it's I think it's amazing that you have given on faith all these years. You've never designated where the funds go. I always call back to and say, hey, we use the funds this way. And the one year we used the funds to help us with our new campus. One year we helped in Haiti. One year we got I know we always have a vehicle need. We've always got a vehicle need. But the fascinating thing to me is that not once has this church ever said, we only want our money to go here. You trust this organization and the relationship that we've built to know that we're going to do the best with those funds that we can. And so incredibly thankful for that, because that's pretty rare. It's pretty rare. So, any questions? That is a great question. Did you hear the question? How much does it cost to go on a trip with me? Well, let me tell you. It's $3,200, but that $3,200 includes your international airfare, all your hotels, food, transportation, any excursions. We're going to take you to do some cultural things so that you can see why the country is in the shape that's in and where they've come since the genocide in the 70s. And did I say food, transportation, and translator? So we're never without a bus. We're never without air conditioning. Hotels are phenomenal. So that's the $3,200. That's what you're spending. Yes, we are a part of a coalition that does emergency care, because there aren't a lot of trafficking facilities. There are, to my knowledge, none for minor kids. For what RAPHA'S mission is to girls ages 6 to 18. And so in the States, I don't believe you'll find a facility, because we do have programming for DHS, CC. Yeah, again, broken system. I understand, broken system, but that's what's here. And so it would be very, very expensive, number one, because it's expensive doing what we do in developing countries, but very expensive to house minors. Very, very, very large red tape involved in that as well. And if you've ever spent time researching what CPS and DHS do, they'll have this checklist of the things that the parents have to do, and then you could have a child in the middle of great progress, and then they are yanked back to go back to their families. So that is not something we have been asked. We've even been offered property. We've been offered acreage to do what we do, just replicate what we do, and it's not, we don't feel the Lord's calling us in that direction. Our answer to that is to help those children in the foster care system, in domestic violence situations. That's what we're doing with our Hope and Healing Center. That's why we opened, so that we could give counseling, trauma-informed counseling and therapy to children of abuse. It is. It is very sad, because I've probably said this every time I come. Trafficking is in our backyard. There are so many different forms of trafficking, not just sexual trafficking. There's labor trafficking. There's debt bondage. All kinds of trafficking happen right here. And we, again, when you set up your mission, for what we started in the beginning in our survivor campuses, it was just girls, and it still is just girls ages 6 to 18. Then when we started in the prevention side, we saw so many families. When our social workers were out working with these families, we saw so many kids at risk that we started the prevention side. That's preschool, boys and girls, preschool to age 18. My most favorite statistic to share is that 47% of our community workers and social workers in our prevention ministry grew up in our prevention ministry. So they go on to get the certificate and the training they need to be the community worker or the social worker for our prevention programming. And so that's very important. Prevention is a huge part of what we do now, because we know if we can catch them before they ever go off that cliff, if we can educate communities and families about how to protect their children, because trafficking doesn't look like the guy in the suit with the gold chains and the fedora, right? Looks like me. I could go and say, oh, sweetie, you look like you're hungry. You look like you need a meal or a hot bath. You want to come with me? I look safe, I think. Do I look safe to you? But you know, it doesn't look, there's so many ways to groom a child to trust you. It doesn't look like what most people consider grabbing them off the street, or there's so much more involved in grooming a child to trust. And once they trust you, you've got them. So preventing and education about that. And that's one of the things that our new facility, there was no picture on there about our training center. This church had half of the building. The left side of the building was their sanctuary, and the right side of the building was a gym. And so super high ceilings. And so that's the Hope and Healing side where we have our movement room. That's why the ceilings are so high in there. And then on our side, it's the training center. We use that for police officers, for ER workers, anybody needing continuing education. Trafficking is a huge part of a lot of corporations. We have a lot of people that come to us and say, we need a trafficking 101 seminar, and we have that down pat. We do those trainings. We do those free of charge. We do, our director and our coordinator of our Hope and Healing Center also trained to train in EMDR. And so we have counselors that will come and get training for how to counsel in that therapy. So we want to use that facility for our community to have, like our Joplin Chamber of Commerce. We have they meet once a month in our conference room, because our conference room will hold like 8 to 10 people. Our training room holds up to 135. And so we have a thing called Joplin Faith at Work in Joplin, and once a month, about every quarter, they have lunch, and it's just all the all organizations in Joplin. If you are a person of faith, it's how to share your faith without getting in trouble. So Faith at Works meets because they know we're so welcoming to businesses of faith. So, is my time up? Any more questions? He can give me the whole shepherd hook thing in a minute. Yes, ma'am. Okay, that is a great question, and something I probably I don't think we have a video of or a picture of. We have now, because we've been here so long, we have transitional homes. So if they're aged out of our programming, it's like mentors, not house mothers, still have counselors that will come onto the campus, but we have 2, 3 now houses that girls can go if it's not safe for them to go home. Most girls go back to their own communities and do whatever vocational training program or whatever means of living that they have, because we've been working with their families all along as well too. So if our goal is to always get them back with their family, but if it's not safe to do so, we won't. We will take them, put them in one of our transitional houses. There are also 2 other organizations. We are a part of, it's called the Chabdai Coalition. In Cambodia, there's 52 Christian organizations that work with us. So we have restaurants that have training programs. We have salons that have training programs. We have art therapy, art classes. We have a lot of people that can take the interest of a child, and we can find a vocational training program for them. But we do have places to go when they age out. And you may not have been in here when I said we never, ever let them go. They will have our social workers and counselors' phone numbers for as long as they want them. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's another very good question. It's about the trip that some of you should be thinking about. It is the 13th through the 22nd. Is what I have on my calendar at the moment. But a couple of those days are to get there. And then we spend 9 to 10 days in country. And then we fly back home. And if you leave on a Saturday, you get back on a Saturday. Because, there's that whole date line thing. So yeah, it's about 10 days in country and a couple of days for travel. You're welcome. I'll be praying for you that you will go with me. Give up what? Okay, guess who's in charge of the calendar? That would be me. So if March doesn't work, but here's the deal. We have March, June, July, and September. Y'all can talk among yourselves. Decide what because I have nobody on my 27 calendar at the moment. And I say at the moment because it goes quick. So I do have trips in March, June, July. I think the June one, June may be taken. Anyway, I have other options if that September might work for you.
Snowbirds usually go places in the winter, and then they come back.
So it's not real cold yet in September here, but is it cold in March here?
Yes.
See, perfect. March works. You just might have to change whatever trip you're talking about in Arizona. Y'all work on that. But now you know, March of 2027, I want to take I can take 10 of you. I can take 10 people. So fight among yourselves about who gets to go. Okay? Oh, now I'm getting the shepherd's hook right when I'm on a roll. Okay, thank you guys so much. We'll see you next year.